Good evening, Jackson Jills, and welcome to the Weekly Echo, the final Weekly Echo of the regular season, the first season of URML, and what an end to the season it was. Yeah, we got races, some playoff races out of both North America and Europe. You can see it on the screen there, and those coming down to some final games earlier today. It was actually I'm gonna have to check. I should have I should have already been prepared for this. I was mentally, but not actually, not factually. But there was that earlier, an EU game earlier. That was Vibers versus Team Gecko, and yeah, Vibers was basically playing for that spot. I think the Survivors came away with the win, so they maintained that position. And so, yeah, I see some folks in the chat there. Whoosh is here. Chucky Joseph, Zenith. And Zenith saying, told you 6 was easy. And you say that, but that was after the loss. You kind of got lucky. I know you're claiming all quarter to the plan, but we did not know. Now, it turns out, so as Zenith points out, it turns out Orbit was not in jeopardy today with that loss, because after once they lost, we saw the MMR flush out. They did drop to the rounded 1240, but it wasn't a weak enough 1240 that they fell below Instinct. So Instinct didn't push up, and Orbit maintained their position. So that effectively meant Orbit was not well, I guess depending on how close it was, I guess if the point differential was enough, it may have made the difference. But as I understand it, the point differential, the effect that has is very, very minor. And yeah, Woosh pointing out that Milk beat you. Yeah, Milk did win, but it wasn't the MMR drop to Orbit was not enough to knock them out of sixth place, so they maintain. And so that's yeah, that's it. Those are the teams on the screen there. The top 6 on the left from NA, top 6 on the right from Europe. Phantoms maintaining that undefeated record. Joker undefeated to everybody but Kang. They went 3-1 against Kang, or excuse me, 1-3 against Kang this season. They did beat Kang once. That wasn't 2, but then Kang did beat them 3 times in 3. And yeah, no, I do believe we're still waiting on the results from the Smash Dash Team Gravity game earlier today. And I don't remember. I didn't actually know what the results were. So I guess that possibly could flip depending on what happened there. So 2 and 3 in Europe could swap. But the implications of that, and so I've got this pulled up here just to touch on. So this is basically the rundown of everything in North America here. And that's so the Challenger Cups are going to be in less than a week, less than 7 days. This coming Saturday, so 5 days from today, May 2nd. That's the first Challenger Cup in North America. Now you can see down here there is none there for Europe. And then the second cup is the Sunday. There's the one there for Europe. And if you're wondering what page I'm looking at here, this is the VRML website. Up at the top, you go to championships, you go to information, and it brings you right here. And so how this is going to wash out, so you can see, so the top 6. So these are the teams that didn't make the top 6. We're playing in these next week. This next coming weekend, and then the next week is Mother's Day. There's not going to be anything going on that weekend, so we have basically a whole week off. And then when we come back, we're going to be into those the final qualifiers, round robin A and round robin B. You'll see it's VRML for round robin A. This is for both effectively 2, 3, 6, and Challenger Cup A winner. Now I'm not sure how that's going to translate here. Because they're going to have 2 winners out of their Challenger Cup, one going to each. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's actually going to work out. Maybe the top seed will go to A and the bottom seed will go to B. We don't know yet. And if I can move these about, I don't know if I'll be able to get them. Actually, I can do this. Pop this down. Look at that. Boom. Right? Boom goes the dynamite, as they say. And I just sort those around. There we go. So you'll have... in round robin A there, you're going to have Kangarillas, Flare, and Orbit, and then whoever wins Challenger Cup A. So Kang, Flare, and Orbit are together in the one cup on that Saturday, May 16th. And then you're going to have Joker, Infinite, and Illuminati versus the winner of the Challenger Cup B there on that Saturday. Then over in Europe, you'll have it's going to be Smash Dash, Gravity, and Alpha Ducks, and then Phantoms, Vertigo, and Vibers. So that's how that's going to split out. And then once those play, the top two from each of those will go into a double elimination tournament there in the semis and the finals there in that final week. That's May 23rd and May 24th. Almost a month away, just under a month away. And then, yeah, there's a whole bunch of information on this site here. I'll bring it back up to the top that you can check out. It's got the times now. The European times might change. I think it's still being discussed. But yeah, that's the situation as of now. So you can go here, find out all the information you need to know, all the details, all the specifics. Now, something important to know is that if you're still looking to get into the open qualifiers, you have until Friday night at midnight. I don't know what time zone, but Friday night at midnight to put a team together, register it, and get it registered for a Challenger Cup, North America and Europe. However, if you're any of these top 6 teams, you can no longer, after tonight, basically after tonight at midnight, you can no longer make any changes to your rosters. None. So once we start tomorrow, that's it. If somebody can't make, if you only have a 4-player roster, somebody can't make it, you're either playing with 3 or you're not playing at all, as I understand it. So I guess you could make some last minute changes in the 11th hour here in the next hour and a half. I don't know. That's the East Coast time. But that's it. So after tonight, these 12 teams can make no more changes to their rosters. But everybody else still has until Friday night at midnight if they want to get in on that open qualifier. So that's the bulk of that. And yeah, Aaron Knight asking no subs in the postseason. None. No subs. And yeah, that's why Rox and Simeon were added rosters. And yeah, so no subs in the postseason. You can use rostered subs. So if you have a 6-man roster and you have 4 players who are primary players and one of them can't make it, you can bring one of your rostered subs in. But you can't, there's no league subs in the postseason. Yeah, I don't mind the policy either. Seems like a good one. So on to the news, ostensibly. So we did have a couple teams fold this week. Sad to see. Effectively, Nay Plus Ultra has collapsed. However, Brendan Cecil is still maintaining ownership of that. I don't know anything more than that. I'm just going based on what I've seen on the website. But otherwise, Citizen, Zux, and myself all off the team there. I believe we're all looking for teams. I don't know what their situations are. I haven't talked to them in a few days. But yeah, so Nay Plus Ultra basically folding. The one below is expired. All right, yeah, let me make one up. I didn't know that was one that could expire. Let me create an invite right quick. It shouldn't. And then go into the cards here on. Well, I gotta go back to. No, there we go. And just a copy paste. Control V. Submit. And so that should have updated. So if you refresh a page, the invite should work. Sorry if that didn't work there. Yeah, and comms when we get to the games, we're gonna cover games just like we always do. Comms will be open, so if you take that invite and go into the Discord there, it's the voice channel called Live, has an exclamation point at the end, and then we can go. We're gonna go over like the big games on the week, but also any other games anybody wants to go over there. So Sneaky Evil, let me know if that works. Yeah, I see you popped in that channel. So yeah, the new invite does work down below. So I apologize, I didn't know that other one could expire. I should test that frequently. But yeah, so back to the news. Yeah, Nay Plus Ultra folded. Deception as well. Deception officially folded. They have deleted the team. And that was players Link 1, Dollar Ranger, iBloat Sports, Ice, and Mozzie. So if you're looking for players, maybe some potentials there. Skull Crusaders as well, the third team this week to fold. That's Swasey, Oculizator, Akon, Philibus, and Antgas. And yeah, so just 3 this week. But as we go into the postseason, what I've been calling the, I think I'm clever, but I've been calling it free agency. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of moves happening. A lot of teams. We'll probably see some more teams collapse. We'll see new teams form. We're going to see a lot of roster moves. And yeah, especially after we get out of the postseason. But we do still have about a month to go. But in brighter news, a couple new teams forming, and these are teams we could we can be confident of, the other we can speculate, coming together for the open qualifiers. In Europe, we've got a team named Washed Up coming, and that's Boop, Finn, Gecko, and Taco on Thursday. Boop, Finn, and Gecko were previously on, was it Blast? I think it was Blast, something like that. Somebody correct me in the chat with the actual name they previously were. And then they also had we called him Lego. What was his name? I don't remember his name, but Lego. We called him Lego. He's not returning. They picking up Taco on Thursday, putting a team together for the those finals, and a lot of people expecting them. ID Lego, is that who that was? ID Lego. I can't even say that. But yeah, so they're coming together. People expecting a lot of something out of them. And yeah, and then in North America, Idle Lego. Interesting. Idle Lego. I see what you're saying. Idle Lego. Okay. And then in North America, we have the team Fear, F33R Fear, formed by Alt V Rat, That Croc, Death Creeps, Z Wisdom, and One Foot. Alt V Rat getting into the action here, coming into the postseason. We can presume they're maybe looking to come in for that the open qualifier, but that's not, as far as I'm aware, as of yet confirmed. And then over on notable player movements, and these were actually brought up in the chat just moments ago. Rox Titan did join Flair. That's presumably as a rostered sub. He was a sub throughout the season, kind of the preeminent sub. Him and Sputnik really taking that role there when they joined teams. What up, Shep? What up, Shepard? Good win today. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, but great win today on Milk there. And then Simeon, the big news this week that got everybody talking was Simeon making his return and joining Illuminati. Again, presumably as a sub, but I guess we'll wait and see. And yeah, those are the two biggest player movements this week. Two major ones there. Notable, just because mainly who they are and the teams they joined. And of course, Simeon, previously on a team with Palador Championship team. And that was Eclipse, kind of the legendary team. And yeah, so really excited to see Simeon return. And I did hear that Simeon, Palador, and Lemming did reunite the other evening on the Quest. So that's simultaneously exciting and scary, I have to say, in all honesty. But yeah, that's basically the news. I don't know how long it took me there. I would guesstimate about 15 minutes or so. And Sneaky saying, yeah, that private was interesting, I heard. And Zen saying, even the evening, all before they were all three in a private. So good times. Yeah, I look forward to, hopefully, I'll get the opportunity to play with those guys back together. Because the last time, and the only time I got to play Eclipse, I was back in ESL Season 2. The first comp team I ever got on, it was with Hasco and Enderslot, fabled level 51 Enderslot, the fabled Hasco. And our first game was against Eclipse. That was the one and only time I ever played Eclipse. It went as well as you would expect it. So I would love to one day again get an opportunity to play either against or with those guys. And a lot of chat a lot of conversation in the chat at the moment. So since that basically is the news, we're going to go ahead and go to an intermission really quick. I am going to pop into that the voice comms channel there, and we will start going over basically whatever anybody wants to talk about, but as well some of the hotter games on the week. So sit tight. If you want, join the voice channel. You can go ahead and start popping in right now. I'm going to take us to an intermission, and we will return in just a minute.